Hit you with another one of them old phenomenal shits.
Meanwhile.
Oh, okay.
If I could please have Liam, Ashley, and Robbie come to the table.
Oh,
shit!
Travis changed his name to Robbie.
Oh, shit!
Who is this now?
Matt, you lied. This isn't your basement.
Basement, schmasement. It all works out fine. So now, the three of you have been set on a trek, specifically tied to the Erishari, when a call was made to you after returning to Byrodin with the rest of your found friends. You were given a task by the voice of the Tempest, Keyleth. And as part of this journey,
Wait, what?
you were told to bring two friends along the way. At least two could be helpful in this. Opal had to stay behind, still figuring out kind of where she stood both with her sister and the newfound vestige that lies upon her head, and Dariax wanted to keep an eye and be there to support and help her figure out what the next step was to be, while the two of you were asked to attend Orm's side for this. With that, Keyleth transitioned you via tree to Amon to bypass the challenging mess you had left behind in
What
some
on
of the
earth
streets
do you
of-
mean?
And enough money to afford yourselves a skyship across the Osmit Sea.
Like that they own or rented?
No, a one-way passage on a skyship.
It's mine.
Now, as you come towards the end of this multi-day journey, the three of you glance past the edge of the skyship, kind of holding on to the far railing as the clouds and mist begin to dissipate beyond the front of the ship. As you look past the bow, you can see, beginning to emerge from the clouds and mist below, the 5 different heights of the rocky spires that mark Dressar.
This is lovely. They're so pointy. Are they pointy?
One of them is.
One of them is so pointy.
Now, for those who have not watched Exandria Unlimited, Ashley, would you mind describing Fern?
Yes. Fern is about a 6-foot-tall fawn. Very, very long seafoam green hair, and is just covered in all bits and baubles and lots of flowers and toadstools and moss on her hooves. And she has a little friend, Mister, and he's a little monkey. That's all.
Are you drunk right now? Or is this
Always.
it? Okay.
Glancing over the side and spilling your excitement out to Orem, if you wouldn't mind, Liam, describing yourself.
Sure. Orem is a halfling. He's 3 foot and change. Shock of short brown hair. And he's wearing a little bit of brown leather armor, mostly a breastplate. And these leather boots that have round green stone rings that are laced into the shin guard of each one. He has a short sword sheathed on his back, an ivy-adorned shield on one hand, and the armor and the very well-worn sashes that are tied around his waist and hanging down have woven patterns of ivy and flower on them, and they're beautiful, but they're not fancy. They're just well made and well worn. And he has a full sleeve tattoo going up his arm that is all clouds from the wrist all the way up onto his shoulder and then disappearing under his armor onto his chest. And the two moons of Exandria are right here. Catha is a white crescent and Ruidus is a smaller full moon cradled within. And he is very fine features. He's really ropey muscles and slender, like a dancer.
Okay. Glancing past the edge of this wonderful vista before you as the city grows closer, this is the first journey any of you have taken in this guy's ship, but it's certainly not the first time that you've been here, Dorian. This is an odd, if conflicted, return to a continent where you began your journey a long time ago. If you wouldn't mind describing Dorian.
Sure. Dorian is, for all intents and purposes, a normal bard. He's just in traveler's clothes. But if you were to first glance at him, what you would notice is how uncharacteristically clean he is. No mud on his boots. He has a large winged sort of armor plate that you can't really tell if it's ornamental or functional, and there's not a fingerprint on it. It's perfectly shined. And he's wearing a long cape that has sort of a sunburst ombre that goes down the back. He's an Air Genasi, so he sort of moves with a lightness, and you might first mistake it for confidence, but it just seems like it's part of who he is and not so much what he wants to project. And he has long black hair that goes down into a white ombre, and he's got sort of a top-knot man bun here, also very pristine. Yeah, as he sort of looks out over things, he feels comfortable in the sky, but this is a wild experience. Yeah, and he's enjoying it a lot.
Slowly, the sky ship begins to grow closer and closer